First clue, Meghan Markle's left hand keeps showing up naked. The three-stone diamond that once blinded cameras has vanished from gala dinners, charity breakfasts, even a sunny farmer's market run. Paparazzi treat each bare finger like a bat signal. The Sussex love story is in cardiac arrest. Divorce prep whispers aren't tabloid fantasy anymore. Two Los Angeles law firms have allegedly drafted settlement spreadsheets itemizing Montecito acreage, streaming residuals, and those fiercely guarded titles while Harry jet sets alone, grinning at airports like a man relieved of invisible chains. Nobody stages that kind of happiness. It leaks out despite you. Follow the money and you find jam 50 hand-numbered jars of strawberry preserve mailed in. March 2024 to Chrissy Teigen, Serena Williams, and half of Hollywood's elite. Instagram loved the aesthetic, but shoppers noticed the obvious. There was nothing to buy. When journalists dug deeper, the U.S. Patent Office had already slapped a red stamp on the trademark application, calling the name primarily geographically descriptive. Cue panicked rebrand. In February 2025, Meghan unveiled As Ever Through, a glossy reel promising heirloom quality for everyday moments. The logo hummingbird over palm fronds looks suspiciously like a centuries-old Spanish crest, sparking a hashtag logo lifter trend that passed 10 million TikTok views in 48 hours. Headaches multiplied when a tiny New York vintage label called As Ever refused to surrender its name, daring Meghan's lawyers to try. Boutique owner Mark Kolsky quipped, "She can keep the Duchess, I'm keeping the trademark." Marketing professors call this brand thrashing. Constant pivots that exhaust fans before a single product ships. Netflix, meanwhile, needs something tangible to justify its shrinking Sussex spreadsheet. Enter Netflix House, two former department stores repurposed into fandom bazaars opening this autumn. Squid Game tracksuits, Stranger Things, fairy lights, plus Meghan's elusive jam will share shelf space in a last-ditch effort to monetize a streaming deal once touted at 100 million. Because the numbers aren't pretty. With Love, Meghan, an 8-episode frolic through backyard gardens and slow-motion whisking, landed at no 383 on Netflix's own popularity index with just 5.3 million views worldwide. New York reruns of Gossip Girl still chart higher. Insiders now guess the Sussexes have pocketed maybe 15 million of the headline figure, and renewal odds hover near zero. Spending, however, hasn't slowed. Montecito property taxes flirt with 300 grand a year. Mortgage and maintenance push annual overhead well north of 4 million. Security is another beast. Harry's bid for British police protection died in court, leaving private teams billing roughly 2 million each year. The couple's answer: headcount. Page 6 confirmed 6 more staffers were cut in July, bringing 4-year casualties to roughly 25. Stress fractures show in public schedules. Meghan skipped Harry's Angola minefield walk in homage to Diana, citing safety, yet happily flew to Nigeria and Colombia for camera-friendly tours. Harry, alone under African sun, looked authentically moved and equally unmoored, as if recalibrating an identity that no longer requires a +1. Back in London, aides for Harry and King Charles held what tabloids dubbed a peace summit. The location was meant to be secret. A long-lens photo blew the operation within hours. William wasn't invited, no mission. Royal commentators read as either a tactical snub or Charles's warning shot. Meghan stayed stateside, but her tone surfaced in People magazine, framing Harry as a man burdened by the past while she eyes fresh horizons. Subtext: the marriage is optional, the brand non-negotiable. Legal peril looms off stage. Samantha Markle's defamation suit crawls toward depositions after an appellate twist, meaning Meghan may face questions under oath about childhood timelines and Oprah-era anecdotes. PR strategists fear released emails more than any damages. Barometer: the Q-score tells a parallel story. Fame still spikes, but positivity has cratered. A-listers who once jockeyed for double dates now cite scheduling conflicts. Streaming execs mumble about risk mitigation. No star wants cameo credit in next year's flop montage. Public sentiment mirrors the churn. A recent poll found 62% of Britons expect the Sussex marriage to end within 5 years, and U.S. approval dipped 10 points after With Love. Meghan leaked its grim stats. Viewers shrugged. Royal soap opera entertains only when protagonists look vaguely heroic. Astrologers and psychics add theater. Brazil's self-styled living Nostradamus predicts a professional partition. First, Meghan steering lifestyle ventures. Harry doubling down on Invictus, followed by physical separation if brand rescue stalls. Charts aside, accountants agree. Separate balance sheets are already in play. Yet Meghan keeps conjuring new product dreams. Leaked decks, list rows, dog treats, embroidered picnic linens, even gardening shears with gold-plated handles. Investors politely request manufacturing proof. Consultants warn that endless teasers without fulfillment erode trust faster than a defective launch. Jam resurfaced last week, appearing in an LA food stylist's Instagram story labeled "Batch 2 is better." Fans noted the sticker now reads as ever reserve, hinting that exclusivity might salvage credibility if the USPTO ever grants a clean green light. Inside Montecito, neighbors see delivery vans coming and going, but can't tell whether they're shipping products or hauling out unused office furniture. Ex-staff recall mood boards plastered with Gwyneth, Bethany, and Reese. As though osmosis could replicate, that leak collided with Netflix's glossy Tudum blog, which only a fortnight earlier had trumpeted a cozy retail offshoot. Netflix housed promising scented candles and berry jam in the same aisles as Squid Game hoodies. In earnings calls, executives now describe Meghan's merchandise as incremental cover charge. Cheap souvenirs intended to soften the write-down if the partnership sunsets without a breakout hit. Meghan's single quotes as counter. Move landed on Instagram, a Napa. Rose timed pointedly in Princess Diana's birthday. Lifestyle glossies swooned over the pale pink bottle. Yet Vanity Fair joked it was jam deja vu when first buyers reported shipment delays and a syrupy aftertaste. The As Ever website even glitched during launch weekend, double charging some fans before disappearing for site maintenance. An echo of the earlier jam rollout, celebrity oxygen is thinning too. Page 6 says, Dolly Parton politely declined a cameo in With Love. Meghan to avoid reputational splash, Baka canary in the mine. Alert for publicists who track Q scores and endorsement curves more closely than royal genealogies. Legal peril looms in Florida, where a judge has slated Meghan for a November deposition in Samantha Markle's defamation suit, a session that could unseal draft emails and diary notes tied to the Oprah interview. Crisis lawyers whisper that dreaded word, discovery. Even as marketing teams sketch mock-ups for holiday honey-glazed ham kits, Harry, hungry for cleaner headlines, leans on Invictus. The Vancouver Whistler report boasts historic adaptive skiing firsts and a balanced budget. Yet Canadian sponsors privately admit they've inserted divorce trigger clauses. Any public separation before the 2027 Games voids bonus payments. For now, the foundation banks the win, but every new check carries fine print the couple once assumed applied only to other royals. Dollar empires. Harry, for his part, frames next spring's Invictus Vancouver as a redemption stage. He's floated inviting Charles for a father-son photo op, yet palace advisors weigh optics. Embrace the prodigal or risk another unscripted bombshell. Sponsors hate uncertainty, and organizers dread last-minute overrides from Sussex PR. Financial analysts project that if Netflix walks and the product pipeline stays theoretical, Sussex cash runs tight by late 2026 before factoring in a potential separation payout. Remember, Sarah Ferguson's divorce cost £2 million in 1996. Californian lifestyles and inflation could push Meghan's ask far higher. And don't forget the diamond. High-res paparazzi shots show subtle resizing scars around its prongs, hinting at recent appraisal either to tighten a loose stone or price it for independence. Jewelers note, when rings undergo valuation, marriages rarely weather the storm. Spin, doctors test new angles, weekly eco-docs, children's cookbooks, even a prestige drama cameo. Studio insiders say pilot scripts were floated, then iced after focus group fatigue. Netflix might humor one more shot, but only if the Sussexes guarantee viral buzz. And that magic is fickle. Where does the fairy tale go? One road leads to parallel lives, joint custody, and polite birthday texts. Another loops back to Windsor under strict choreography. No memoirs, no podcasts, no surprise interviews. Both require sacrifices. Neither seems eager to make. Remember, 2. That Netflix house isn't a dime store pop-up, it's an expensive gamble. Former Bloomingdale's floors in Chicago and King of Prussia now house LED strawberry tunnels leading to Meghan's stand. Scented with vanilla rose, jam identical to a new candle, trademark quietly filed under Class 3. Staff turnover. Tales grow darker. One assistant signed 5 NDAs in 2 years. A social media manager endured 90-minute calls about the perfect shade of ribbon for a jar that still doesn't exist. Another ex-employee recalls mornings that began with abundance is already ours, followed by frantic revisions to sales decks. Courtiers inside Buckingham track every Sussex post. When Jam 50 hit Instagram, a senior aide circled it in red and wrote, "Proof of concept missing." Charles, ever the gardener, allegedly asked how many fruit trees actually grow at Montecito versus being rented for photo shoots. Samantha Markle's lawyers have subpoenaed diary entries, school records, and drafts from Meghan's deleted blog. One tech consultant says the email trove could fill a small-town library, and the billable hours may eclipse last year's landscaping budget. Financiers whisper about a funnel leak. Millions watch Meghan's glossy videos, but almost no one buys. Analysts liken it to guests eating AW d'oeuvres, then ghosting before mains. Goodwill will calcify into indifference unless products hit shelves soon. Here's the sting. British divorces rarely leave royal titles intact. Yet Meghan's team, REPORTEDLY, wants to keep Duchess for merchandising. Constitutional experts say that'd require an act of parliament. Imagine lawmakers debating jam branding while schools plead for funds. That firestorm alone guarantees headlines into next year. Negotiations over a Netflix renewal are equally theatrical. One insider calls recent conference calls Shakespeare. Unmute executives spouting corporate verse, while Sussex reps counter with buzzwords about empowerment. The proposed compromise slashes their fee, ties payouts to watch hours, and forces them to field live questions at next summer's fan convention. Meghan balked. Harry was game until advisors warned of meme potential. Talks stalled, and Netflix has already greenlit a backup reality show about aristocrats renovating a Scottish castle. Proof that no one is irreplaceable. What we can say tonight is simple. Watch the left hand, the trademark filings, and Netflix's next quarterly slate. If the ring stays off, the USPTO stays red, and the streamer buries with love. Meghan, deeper than page 50, the romantic chapter closes. When the Sussex brand stops surfing headlines and starts sinking beneath them, the last jar of jam may become a bittersweet collector's item. Souvenir of a love story that mistook spotlight for sunlight. Scandal news will keep the night vision cameras rolling, because the next revelation could drop before the ink on this script is dry.